And I looked for those palm trees. And that was my obsession, to have the palm trees outside of the room. And I went looking and looking for months, trying to find palm trees outside of a window where I could have the apartment of Wanda. And then, of course, also the horse with the wings is something of that time, when they actually met. It doesn't exist anymore, those ads, and I had it made for the movie. Also, the bail sign was made for the movie. So all that was a lot of time in the works, 7 years, and and the shooting 30 days.
30 days and 7 years, yeah.
I wanted to ask you about Mickey Rourke. This is, of course, 6 years after he first kind of arrived on people's radar in Body Heat. It's 1987 when this movie comes out. He's at the peak of his power, perhaps as an actor and certainly as a movie star. What was it actually like to work with him? Because I've heard so many conflicting stories. Everything from that he was much more orderly and professional than one would imagine, to that by the end of it he was so fragrant that people didn't want to be around him. I mean, is the truth somewhere in between? What is it?
No, actually, we didn't have time to work a lot before. He really didn't know Bukowski. He had not read his works. And luckily, I had filmed those Bukowski tapes, and I gave them to him, and that was invaluable for him because he was able to catch this rhythm, because there is a music in every writer. There is some kind of music, and if the actor can hear that music, it helps. And also, I knew Bukowski inside out because he was a friend, and I had spent so much time with him trying to do the movie, that I knew exactly what he would do and not do. So I was able to direct the Mickey Rourke very well, because I could just say no like that with my head when he was doing something that Bukowski wouldn't do. You know, usually when you make a movie about somebody, you're guessing who that person is, but I knew inside me exactly who he was, so I was able to.
And yet it's not an impersonation now. I mean, it's...
No, it's his interpretation, and actually Bukowski would come only once a week in the shooting, and he told me, I told him, you can come as much as you want, you're very welcome, we're all very happy. He said, no, I don't want to come too much because you have to find your own Bukowski, and if I'm there too much, I would prevent it from you. So it was nice. And actually the experience I had with Mickey Rourke was fantastic because we didn't need to talk very much. I mean, we just needed, we communicated telepathically. You know, we looked at each other after a take, and he would understand immediately what I wanted, and in the next take he would do it. I mean, it was magical. It was really something. Before we had trouble because he was seeing himself with completely suntan, with those woman glasses that he picks up at. Those were the glasses he had made for the movie. They were the glasses of the character. So there was a big misunderstanding there. So
at what point did he change to he had that cadence?
That, it was magical. Mm-hmm.
And he did that just on his own. I mean, he has it's such a brave performance that never teeters over the edge. I always think performances like that are that daring, to have the cadence and the carriage, the way he walks, everything that he does. But it's real.
Yeah, we found the walk in the beginning of the shoot because he was getting so beat up, so he said he must hurt from all those beatings, and he started finding something. I said, that's it. And there we went. We never rehearsed a lot, and it was all very, very quick, very inspired.
And did Bukowski later have a few problems with his performance? Did he ever express?
He had problem with her.
With her,
because it was the love of his life, and she didn't look like her exactly, and she, so that for him, she was too much of a movie star. For me, she was sublime in this
Yes, she
movie.
was.
So I was totally in love with her performance. I was even crying at certain points when she was filming. Yeah.
What was it about, how did Faye Dunaway come to be involved with the movie?
When?
How did Faye Dunaway come to be involved with the movie? And
Well,
what was
she
it
was coming out of a long affair she had with somebody. She was married, I think, in England, and she was coming back. And somebody told me that she was looking for a part, that she would be open to anything, and so we met, and that was it.
Can you talk about the story that led up to the making of the movie a little bit, because it's somewhat apocryphal, but not everyone
Yes,
may
the
know
finger story.
Well, you know, basically, it was a movie that had the same type of problem that One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest had, meaning how do you explain to people that this movie, this screenplay, would make a movie that would be life-affirming, that people would be laughing, and that people would feel good at the end of the movie. It was impossible to explain that. And how can you explain that a movie like Cuckoo's Nest that takes place in a mental hospital, you're going to have the same type of feeling also? It was impossible to explain. And actually, at one point, even the production company, who hadn't read the screenplay, that's why they accepted to do it. And because they were producing so many movies, but they were close to being bankrupt, and they said, we can't do it. And so I said, okay, we were just 1 month away from the shooting, so we're going to send the screenplay, the budget, everything, the contracts, everything was ready to everybody in this town who can finance a movie that is $3 million, all included. And we tell everybody that the first one who answers, yes, we'll produce the movie. That's the only way we can get out of that. And what happened was that nobody said yes, except one person who was actually trying to resell it to the others. Because somebody called me and said, but your movie, is it $3 million or is it $6 million? Because somebody just proposed it to me for $6 million. So that showed that all these years that I was trying to make it work, I was deluded because it was impossible. Everybody in town that could have produced this movie said no.